Alright. Hey, welcome to the Backyard Professor Chess videos. Another Pirc Defense that won. And this against Anatoly Karpov. This is a very significant game. We've seen some of the basic strategies that White wants to do, and now we're going to see some of the, and we saw Viktor Korchnoi wipe out Bobby Fischer. Now we're going to watch this Gipslis guy. Gipslis, I say Gipslis, but it's Gipslis, I believe. Anyway, Karpov is the white, and Gipslis says, hey, dude, I can play this game too. And Karpov says, no, I am Anatoly Karpov. And he's right. You know, granted, he didn't win the chess title from anybody. He more or less inherited it. But this man played in more top-level, tough chess tournaments internationally than anyone else of his day for a full decade. I mean, his 20-year clash with Garry Kasparov is just vintage chess to give us a ton of outstanding chess. If you can play Anatoly Karpov's games, you're looking at some great chess. In this instance, Gipslis got the best of him. Now, again, though, Karpov's pushing the center. He's setting it up right with the Pirc defense. He's going to bring his bishop up and hit him from a distance, looking for that d4 square. This is beautiful, beautiful stuff. Now, Karpov brings out the bishop here against the knight to pin the knight. This is also one of the effective strategies against this particular defense, unless, of course, you're playing Gipslis like Karpov did. In this particular game. I have a lot of games where Karpov did win against the Pirc, just like Bobby Fischer did too. So, I mean, don't kid yourself. They have to know how to play both sides, just like eventually for those of us who aspire to improve ourselves have to learn how to play both sides. Now look, if I just shut up and start talking, about chess that is, this is the proper method. Based on what I've read, based on the various dozen or two games that I've played using the Pirc defense, when black is coming at you here on the king side, even before you've castled, he has such a strong pawn center. And remember, one of the best ways to attack is send in the grunts, you know, throw the pawns up there and back them up with pieces. And they can act as battering rams to destroy the cover of the king and all. I mean that's great. But notice what Gipslis is doing. He's bringing out the b5. He's going to start bringing out the a pawn. He's going to start bringing up the c pawn. If he can again, he's going to bring out that e to e5. He's coming at Karpov, right? He's not just sitting there building up a defensive fort, hoping Karpov can't break through. He's saying, forget that noise. I'm also going to fight. That's a key to the Pirc defense, man. This is good stuff. Karpov, I know, knight on the rim is dim. He doesn't leave it there. He's developing his knight this way so that perhaps he can bring it down to here and come up here into g4 or up here to e4. So a temporary move like that to come into here and then get up into here is perfectly fine. You don't want to leave it there for 35 moves, however. That would suck. Bishop g7, once again, hitting that d4. Fabulous stuff, man. Now, Karpov, he's brought his queen up, and I've noticed this is something that all the great grandmasters do. When you pull out your bishop, either wing, it doesn't matter, they bring up the queen one. Touch your bishop, contact your bishop. Stay in contact with your pieces. Don't just throw them out there and let them fend for themselves. That's not the way to play chess. So, and now, Karpov says, I want to get rid of that. Eventually, Gipslis is going to want to castle. And of course, since he's pushed the g-pawn to make up for the weak squares of h6 and f6, of course, you put your bishop there. Because, of course, that covers the dark squares. So Karpov is thinking, if I can get my bishop up there, take away the guardian when he castles, then it's going to be easier to attack the king side because he has dark square weaknesses. So this is the thinking that Karpov is going through. And you can see this in many, many Grandmaster games. Now, rather than getting freaked out about it, Gipslis goes ahead and castles anyway. He said, well, if you're going to take the bishop, you're going to take the bishop, right? What Gipslis doesn't want to do is him take the bishop and then let the queen park right here, because then that completely weakens that whole thing. I mean, you can't use the pawns for anything hardly. That is not what you want to do. If your opponent brings his bishop up here, he's connected with the queen, just whenever he decides to take the bishop, let him take it, don't you take it, right? That makes sense. So, holy cow, what was I lying about now? Let's see. Castles, knight. H to F2. See, now, he didn't leave him there. He's bringing him here so he can hit up into here and here. This is good chess. Now watch. Gipslis. Ta-da. There you go, E5. Now, I've noticed a pattern in studying the Pirc defense. So, let's just get it out right now. Man, and you can't do this too early. It's a matter of experience. You know, just follow your gut feeling. It's one of those intuition things. But man, if you're playing black and you're doing the Pirc defense, if you can get your pawn to that E5 or get your pawn to that C5 first and disrupt, I'm telling you, that's bonus. That is what you want to do eventually. If you do it too early, it backfires, but I guess you got to practice and get experience. And sure enough, Karpov takes the guardian away from the king, the bishop, at this point. Now Karpov has targets, right? Here and here. The squares, not the knight, the squares. Well, I mean, the knight will eventually become a target too, but so this is the idea. Well, Karpov castles queenside. The advantage, when you castle kingside, your rook is usually behind the F pawn, and so you have to move your rook into the E, D, C, B, or A to get a file, right? Castling on the queen side, you're here in a central file already with your rook. You know, he is not damaged as such much over the king side. His king side isn't bad. He went queen side, I believe, to get the central open file, which isn't a bad thing. Queen to A5. Now, no, this again, really, I mean, let's be real. Karpov has the center pretty firmly under control. What do you do in the Pirc defense when white has the center under control? You, one, try to keep him from advancing the center. Gipslis has done this beautifully. He got to E5 first. He has a knight here influencing E and G4. He's got a pawn here backing up his E5. He's got a pawn here hitting the D5 square. So, and he's got the knight supporting his E5. So he has essentially stopped Karpov from just rolling through the center. That's great chess with the Pirc defense. Well, what do? When you get that done? Queenside, man. Go to the queenside. Make it happen. Here he comes. He's coming at Karpov on the queen side. That's good chess. Karpov castled queenside. It's critical that he has to take the time to move his king to support that A-pawn. Queen hitting the A-pawn. Yes, I know. I mean king. I know the knight, but the knight can be chased away with just one pawn thrust. And then once you chase that knight away, you've castled on this side. Man, you can't give that pawn to the... that's suicide. So, you gotta move your king over, right? That makes perfect sense. Again, great chess. Hey, look at this. Rook E8, preparing for the open file. Gipslis has foresight here, right? You can see there's tension with the pawns in the center, right? Something's going to happen. Something's going to give way in exchange. Eventually, that file's going to open. Well, why not put the rook there right now? Yeah. Yeah. No, really, yeah. Again, Karpov's not going to sit around and let Gipslis stop him from mowing him over in the center and from getting his butt handed to him on the queen side. Now you have to guard the queen side, but break up the king side too. Notice in this particular game, something real nice. The power is basically distributed pretty even on both sides, isn't it? I mean, you don't see all the pieces on this side or all the pieces on that side. And it's the same with Gipslis. His king isn't completely alone. He's got an okay guard here. The knight can get over here pretty fast. The bishop can certainly zip the dude over here fast. So it's pretty evenly distributed. That's kind of nice. That's important to understand about the Pirc. Whenever your opponent begins making moves on the king's side, sit up and pay attention. Something's happening. You can't just send everything over to the queen side and attack and leave your king by himself if your opponent is starting to move that way, right? It's just Mickey Mouse, simple, basic 1, 2, 3 ABC logic. Talking like a crazed man. H5, stop it immediately. Nice. And I mean, you don't always have to do that, but in this instance you're playing Anatoly Karpov, you'd better stop him because this sucker is good. No, truly, watch. Watch! Alright, you stop my ace pawn, well, okay. Now notice something. Karpov can afford the pawn moves, and I mean the heavy, fast to jump at the first of the pawn moves on the king side because he castled queen side. He's not disrupting his king's cover. Man, these are your missiles. Send them out. Heck yeah. Yeah. So you stop my one. Hey, I've got another one right here coming at you. This is great stuff. This is a battle. Beautiful Karpov. He's always fighting. He's trying to gain the initiative. Very important to notice this. Well, knight b6. Here we go. Queenside moving. Gipslis is Gipslis. I keep calling him Gipslis. Watch. Ho, 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 ho. Nice. Not only is he cramping the king side here with his pawns, he's challenging one of the defenders of the king. That's good. Knight f to d7. He remains, and you say, hey, just a minute ago you're saying the power is balanced and now it looks like everything's going that way. Yeah, he remains real close within striking distance. In a way, you know, putting it down here or here isn't bad either, because if you put it here, you're hitting these squares, protecting these squares, and if you drop it to g8, you're protecting the weak black squares. So, you know, is it a matter of personal taste? I don't know. I personally would have felt more comfortable dropping it to g8 instead of putting it out there. Now, he's paying attention to the queen side too. Of course, you can't just sit there and let him come at you. He's trying to affect it so that he's not so strong against him. And now Gipslis is saying, I'm serious, I'm coming after you on the queen side. This is certainly a move announcing, here I come. There's no, why not? He castled to that side, right? So, here we go. You notice Karpov is not ignoring his attack. You notice that Karpov is not ignoring Gipslis' attack on the queen side, or at least his encroachment. You kind of, this is one of those games where you have to watch both sides equally. You kind of have to have a balance of moves, but you want to keep your eyes over the entire range of the board. There's action everywhere in this game, is what I'm saying. So this is a great game. Now watch this. Did I push F4? Yeah. Okay, and again, Gipslis has pushed the E5. Now notice Karpov has just left the tension. He hasn't immediately taken that pawn. Gipslis says, I'm fine with that because I'm stopping you from marching further through the center. So if you want to leave the tension, I'm fine with that too. You notice they're both operating elsewhere now, and they've left the tension. But now Karpov ups the ante here. He's given more tension. Either that, or he's looking to come further. Now look what that does. You know, you can visualize it mentally, but when you see it physically, you go, oh man. That almost, seeing it this way makes you want to say, Gipslis, you really have to, you either have to take one or the other, and you might be better off taking that F pawn, because that becomes a real serious attack. And you have the rook that can zip over here. You have the bishop that comes out and over. You have the knight. Yeah, that's a move right there. Now Gipslis has a lot to think about, in my thinking, in my opinion. Watch what he does. Boom, knight c4. Wow, what an outpost. He's across the middle, the frontier line. He's into the territory. He's approaching the enemy king. He's threatening the queen. He's got a zip over here to a3. Oh, wow, that's a move. That's saying, ooh. Nice, nice. Queen drops d1. And he does take the f pawn. This really does make sense. Now that I put that pawn up there and you saw the result, you said, oh, no, you can't do that. You can't let that happen. So, yeah, he's going to take that f pawn. That's too much. That's too much of a roller on the king's side. So this is fun to notice that. And notice how getting to e5 really has made the difference here. He has really essentially stopped that center from being mobile. Knight to d3, here we go. Now he's going to hit the pawn. He's going to come up into here. Might have a good outpost if he can get rid of that pawn. This is a good spot for him. So he's keeping a lid on the queen side, and yet he's keeping power in the center. And he's blocked. Man, this is a great game. This is a great game. I like this. Watch. Ow! That knight is hopping everywhere. What a great outpost. Look at this. Hitting the bishop and the rook, the c2 pawn. That's the most powerful place he can put that knight. And he's got an outpost. Notice Gipslis got to e5 first. When Karpov decided, I'm going to try to get more going here, he takes the f-pawn, and now that pawn is the outpost to a really phenomenal knight. Great Pirc defense, isn't it? That e5 move makes a difference. Look, this is great stuff. Great outpost. Rook has to bump up to d2, of course. Now, notice Gipslis is playing with the initiative. That is, he is making the moves he wants with his pawns, with his knights, with his queens, with his rooks. And more or less, Karpov is basically forced to play reactionary chess. Now, what do you think Gipslis is going to do now? Okay, well, he got the rook out of the way. Are you going to just take pieces willy-nilly? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold it. That's an amateur mistake sometimes. Jeremy Silman talks a lot about this in his books. Don't just take the material. Look, this is the bad bishop. There's white pawns all through the center. He really doesn't have any long piercing angles. He's not up here threatening the king. So he's really not in danger. He's not doing a whole lot. So don't sweat it. Don't trade your utterly dominant, powerful knight for a punk bishop. No, the king's over here. Right? Keep that knight there. Maybe you can put some combinations together and that knight can help you attack the king. Don't trade it off for a dipstick bishop down here on the first rank. Okay? That's really important to recognize. If you love to get material, in this instance, don't. You'll blow it. Gipslis doesn't. Nice stuff. Watch what he does. Push the pawns. He's coming on the queen's side. See, he made up his plan, his decision. I'm coming on the east side, and he's sticking with it. Now, granted, Karpov has made some kind of progress here, and he's really trying to get to the king's side, although Gipslis has done an outstanding job of stopping him from proceeding, but don't stop doing your thing either. Gipslis doesn't. This is great chess. Lots of instruction from the grandmasters. Yeah, shut up and play the game, dude. Holy mackerel. I don't want to listen to you. I want to see these guys play. Rook to F2, grab the file. Good stuff, I'm telling you. B4. No. Queenside dominance, man. That's fun to watch. Got it, that's fun to watch. Knight A2. Ever retreating. Ever retreating. He is ever coming forward. Ah, man. That's great stuff. Okay. Rook. Boom, baby. E4. Rook comes powering down, destroys the E4 pawn. A powerful central pawn. And now who's your daddy, baby? Look at that rook. Look at the knight on the outpost. Gipslis is just coming to Karpov. This is great chess. Rook takes F4. Karpov says, look, you aren't the only one. And this is so Karpov. He's such a fighter. That's what made him so great. He's coming at him. Do you see him just giving up the center? Oh, heck no. Do you see Karpov giving up the kingside? Oh, heck no. You want to fight? All right, I'll fight. You gotta love this. This is one of the best games, man. Now, where was I? Oh, for the love of Sam Walton. Rook takes F4. Rook takes F4. He says, all right, I'll fight. Knight takes F4. All right, I'll continue fighting. And, oh, C takes D4. Look at Gipslis, man. This guy is showing him how it's done. He had his outpost with the pawn over here. Karpov threw everything he could at him to get rid of that knight and his outpost. And Gipslis said, yeah, all right, I'll do a few exchanges with you. And pow! He establishes the knight with the powerful outpost again. Ah, this is premium chess, man. Take a lesson. Watch this video 50,000 times till you get this, man. That's how to do it. That is beautiful. Well, A takes B4. You gotta do something, man. He is too strong. He is too strong. Queen comes over here to F5. Wow. He's switching his power from the queen side over to here, or is he? Take a look. Remember how good queens are. Look at that B line. Look at the knight. So, what did I tell you earlier, a few minutes ago? Keep that knight in the out. Trading it for that bishop is a crime. You would need to have your left hand cut off if you did something that stupid. Even a moron like me sees that. But now look. Now you're given phenomenal support. Keep that knight there, man. That is pure power. This is beautiful. Oh, no, not that one, you moron. This one. Knight comes to D3. Again, he's got to start protecting. Karpov has to do something. He really is under siege here. Okay, what's the theme of this game? Really serious. I'm coming at you, right? He's coming at the queen side. Karpov says, well, I'm coming at you on the king side, but Gipslis has stopped the king side in the central attack, right? Now Gipslis is in charge, using the Pirc defense. What's the theme? I'm coming at you, man. Watch what would you do next? Take a look at the board, pause the video, and try to find what the next move Gipslis would do. It's outrageously fabulous. It shows he's serious about winning. All right, here's his next move. Knight E5. Wow, central power coming at you. Yeah, that's great. Bishop E2. Finally, the bishop gets to do something, although it's precious too little too late. Watch. Bishop E6. I'm coming after you, man. He just keeps coming down. Look, Karpov, unfortunately for him, he is virtually crammed into that corner, man. Gipslis just keeps bringing things down, and he's going to crush him in that corner. That is beautiful to see this, man. Wow. Knight A to C1. Rook C8. Every piece. Look at the file. See? Who's down here? The king. The knight. Outpost. Phenomenal outpost. He's had it now for several moves. Where's he pointing? The king. Who's over here? The queen. Where's she pointing? To the bishop. Where's the bishop coming? You can't play better chess to instruct you how. This is outrageously excellent. I'm probably going to go over my half hour and have to edit half this BS out. Bishop D1. Well, okay, now finally, zigzagging a little bit, now he does give a little bit of support to that pawn, and he dang well better, or his name ceases to be Anatoly Karpov. Truly, seriously, that's knight G4. That way, if that knight gets taken on that fabulous outpost, if it gets traded, then he can immediately put another knight there. That's great chess. That is really great chess. Queen to D2, king to G8, bishop takes G4, bishop takes G4. Okay, good. Get rid of something. Man, you've got to get rid of something. H takes G4, and now not only has he crammed poor Karpov into the corner, he has a really fabulous passed pawn. Although there is a rook here that will stop it. But he's got the passed pawn. That's nice. Knight E1. Still trying to give protection to that because it's being attacked so many ways. And the bishop can come down here. I mean, wow, there's a lot of stuff. That poor C2 pawn is under serious pressure. Queen E4. Getting closer, strengthening every one of his pieces. Rook G1, you gotta eye that pawn, absolutely. Bishop F5, he just keeps clamping down, step by step, improving the position of every one of his pieces. This is Grandmaster chess. Hey, this is something we can imitate. I promise, even as amateurs. You see, it's not too far beyond for us to see what they're doing in many, many instances. Right? I don't want you to get discouraged that way. Rook G1. Bishop F5. Yeah, he's just crammed in the corner. Queen comes up to D3. Queen doesn't want to swap. Too much power. He says, no, I'm having way too much fun. I really am having way too much fun. Queen comes zipping over here to A6. He's got a pawn here. Maybe he can make something happen. Who knows? Queen H2. Wow. Holding the 7th rank. That's where the battle is right here. See, the queen, Karpov put his queen up here. You know, come on. Really, seriously, there's the square you got to protect. You're getting hit 1, 2, 3 times. This is where the action is, not up here. I honest to goodness, don't know what he was thinking. And maybe he was giving up, because at this point when he came to Queen A2, Karpov resigned. So, Gipslis beat Karpov with the Pirc Defense. That is truly one of the most powerful games you'll see anywhere. That's worth playing several times. So anyway, hey, there's your chess video. Yes, I'm enjoying making this. In fact, I'm having so much fun that it's that close to illegal. But I'm going to keep doing it anyway. So, all right, there's your chessercise, man. You guys have a great Easter weekend. If I can, I'll try to make a couple more videos. No guarantee. But in the meantime, hey, keep chessercising, and I will see you in the next chess video.